Hi, I'm Lisa Picard. I'm president and CEO of EQ Office. We're one of the largest office building owners in the country. The whole real estate industry is traditionally stuck into doing things the way it's always been done, because what we like to say is that real estate is capital intensive. And the way that people manage risk is they manage risk by doing the same thing over and over again. And if anything that COVID is teaching us right now is that we can't keep doing the same things over and over again. Right now is a moment in which we can shed those things that actually weren't working and think about them differently. Already work has been on a path of pretty rapid evolution, and certainly technology has forced our hand in that. As a result, every generation, depending on how that generation learns, really dictates how that generation wants to work. And as these forthcoming generations came forward utilizing technology, whether it be on a laptop, working in the quad or in a cafe or in a Starbucks, this ability to work anywhere they possibly can shifted kind of the nature of what the workplace needed to be. There's studies that says 60 to 70% of the working population of office worker already works at least a day a week remotely. And whether that remotely is on a plane, or whether that remotely was from home, and whether that remotely encountered, times during the evenings, all of these things have really shaped the nature of the work environment, that we want everything that we have in our homes to be in our office. And those things that are at our office, we want them to be at home. And so we don't need efficient workspaces, we need effective workspaces. We talk about at EQ is, what is it that creates effective workspaces? And it's not collaboration space everywhere all the time. It's really choice. And that choice says, okay, you know what, today I need to have concentration. Today I need to have collaboration. Today I need to be in community. And so these types of spaces are still needed. And I would say the home is only providing the concentrated workspace, and we're forcing it to have collaborative workspace through technology. But ultimately, the work from home is a concentrated workspace. There's 4 types of things we need in the workspace. And we talk about the concentration, we talk about collaboration, and then we need community. And then lastly, we need aspects of convenience. And what we say is like all the things of life admin that we need to get done through the course of the day. If it's conveniently provided at home and it's conveniently provided in the workplace, then really we have all the elements to create effective work. I think the fundamental thing is we don't know, but we do believe, and I do believe, that things are going to be fundamentally different. Now, some will say, oh gosh, remote work is finally here. Well, no, remote work was here. The real question is around a distributed workforce. Can every workforce be distributed? And the answer to that is no. Certainly those workforces that could be distributed, call centers, et cetera, that could actually work remotely, we're already doing it. But what we do know, and what we're all finding right now, is that we are social creatures. And there's an aspect of a power of presence that actually helps us create creative product. And I think fundamentally, we're gonna actually look at probably ways in which we, in the first 90 days, think about shift work. We start thinking about what teams get to go into the office, which teams get to work remotely. I think about what happened to retail, and when we finally broke the friction of online shopping, those retail experiences that didn't provide us an experience or give us something of utility really kind of fell by the wayside. And I think the workplace is going to be the same thing, and that the office can't just be this remote utility. It has to provide us something special and something of an experience. The response and the creativity of people to find community through the digital environment and then also in their personal environment has been pretty remarkable. In the leadership of my own organization, communication from the leaders has been absolutely critical. This time has actually almost been sort of like the social media experience for companies. We're able to connect with a lot more people. The connection is obviously shallower just because we can only use audio and visual, and we can't necessarily use the intuition and the other types of senses that we get in, pure human connection. But ultimately, the real estate's going to still be absolutely critical, whether it be your home real estate of inviting people in, or the workplace, which is where so many people derive their own identity and purpose, because there's nothing that really replaces the power of presence. we're feeling these changes now, right? It was remarkable how quickly every industry has adjusted, and how should we make spaces a bit more malleable? Companies are going to get creative in terms of scheduling who gets access to the office space and what teams will work remotely that week, until we can de-densify some of these environments that have had fairly sizable density. There's existing technology that measures the densification of spaces. In fact, it was being used to densify spaces. I think that technology in place will get used to de-densify locations and give people the sense of comfort of how many people have been in the space and at what frequency. So those are some of like the kind of immediate and sort of maybe the next 90 days, but this is pretty dynamic. I keep looking at where has friction been removed, right? What didn't we know before? What have we learned? How did we use new technology now? How did we engage? And what has that opened up? And what opportunities has that created for businesses? And those are the kinds of things that my team is thinking about right now. We do think that trust in the employee will have certainly increased, in that the employees can actually get a lot of work done outside of the presence of the office. As I like to say, there's like software components that I think immediately changed as a result of this drastic, rapid shift to work from home. And those software things are the cultural aspects of the organization, which we'll see manifest into the hardware of companies or their offices. One of the things that I kind of keep coming back to is Maria Popova, who does some curation on literature, wrote a really beautiful piece on how quarantine fomented the greatest leap in science. And it really talks about the plague of 1650. And literally, if you read this, it's almost like you're reading modern times. But she ends with it talking about this is the time that Newton went into isolation and really discovered gravity. And there's a quote from Newton relative to that, truth is the offspring of silence and meditation. So I just encourage those of you out there, use this time of silence and meditation to discover the real truth about what we need and what we don't need, and move forward. We continue to foster a lot of thinking in this area, and we've got a free blog newsletter that we put out called Place Lab. You can go to our website, eqoffice.com, and stay connected with us. Appreciate the conversation.